A week has passed since Sayo collapsed, which also makes it a week since she was last able to get up by herself. At least, that's what it feels like. My sense of time has been numbed since then. Last week has started, but with Sayo unable to go to class, even that has passed me by. Nothing exceptional has happened. All the comings and goings at the academy have passed right over my head. I'm only ever thinking about Saya. I've skipped classes more times than I can count to come home and be with her. There have been nights after school where I've done nothing but stare at Saya while she sleeps, going as far as to fall asleep in the chair in her room myself. And as much as I can stare, I can never touch her to comfort her.
まったく情けない。
It's December 23rd, 2 nights before Christmas. Sayo is at least feeling well enough to sit up, though she remains in bed.
血を吐いたり苦しかったりだるくて動けなかったり、意外と綺麗には死ねないものね。
You shouldn't be talking like that. I use a knife to peel an apple as we talk. Though Saya is still joking around, her face is pale and her breathing weak.
それにしたってねえ。
Saya raises a hand. Her movements are slow, with even something so simple taking a great amount of effort, and watches her take a bunny-shaped slice of apple and hold it towards her mouth. She opens wide, and in goes the apple. My fingers just barely brush against her soft lips. How is it?
おいしい。
If you feel up to eating, then I could make you porridge or something.
無理。でもケーキとか食べたい。
You need to be eating something more nutritious than that.
リツを食べたら栄養ありそう。
Look, you. Sarah giggles.
ね、私元気でしょ？だからそんなに心配しなくても平気だよ。
Yeah. I smile and nod. I know she's just acting tough, but it wouldn't be very sympathetic of me to insist that she was anything but fine.
ねえ、リツ。
What is it?
私がいなくなったらさ。
I won't let that happen. My response comes immediately.
まあそうなんだけど、もしもの話ってだけだから。するでしょ？みんなもしもの話、楽しい話。
Saya starts coughing. The hand covering her mouth ends up speckled red. She stares at it for a moment, then wipes her mouth. The red spreads across her lips, standing out like lipstick against her pale complexion.
リツは私の力を吸収したのよね。
I did.
それで無駄にいろいろなことができるようになった。
It all means nothing if I can't help you. I thought of trying, though. I spread open my right hand as I grumble. That alone cuts out the decorations in the room, even in the tightly packed bookcase to float an inch into the air. I sort of understand now why the god created the devil. It's because without someone to contest him, you do have too much power to know what to do with. Authorities on religion suggest other theories, such as the devil was created as a way to shift the burden of sin from man, or that an existence contrary to God was needed to show God's true authority.
それだけ力が強くなったのなら、もう普通に外に出れるんじゃない？
I don't know. I've never considered it. It's certainly possible that by now I could cross the boundary that's contained me my whole life. I've undergone an immense change after all. I'm staying here though.
ここは私たちの家だから。
No, I'm staying here because this is where you are.
いて。私の隣にいてね。お兄ちゃん。
Sayo smiles again. Unfortunately, these signs of affection are, in truth, proof that she's suffering. She reaches a trembling hand out towards me, knowing full well that my powers will steal away more of her life. I take hold of it. Because right now my little sister just wants to feel warmed.
でもね、もしもだけど、私がいなくなったらでいいから、自由にどこにでも行って、いろいろなものを見に行って、笑顔でいて。ね、お兄ちゃん。
Sayo squeezes down on my hand. Her lack of strength hurts me deeply, but I smile through it. If I end up doing that, then I'm taking you with me.
そうね。そう。
Let's promise. We're going to go on a trip when you feel better.
約束。
She loosens her grip to link your little finger with mine. We make a pinky promise like we're kids.
それじゃあ、お兄ちゃんはどこへ行きたいの？
I think Tokyo is where I'm most interested in.
思ってるほどいい場所じゃないのに。
Even so, I've always wanted to be able to go there. And now I do like to see where you grew up too.
なるほどね。
Sayo smiles, slightly embarrassed.
そういうことなら行こうね。
Hokkaido and Okinawa would be good too. Outside of Japan. Obviously, I do like to see the Vatican, but I do like to go to Germany and England too.
好奇心旺盛。
Yeah. On that note, where would you like to go?
そうね。そもそも引きこもってるのが好きだけど、それでもあえてなら温泉？
Isn't it a place for, older people mainly?
そうなんだけど、今はすごくゆっくりしたい。
I see. It makes sense now that she says it. Going somewhere wouldn't be the first thing on her mind if our current problems were solved. It would be relaxing. I put on a delayed dry smile. Our first stop will be the onsen.
兄弟で温泉なんて卑猥。
Oh, I want to see that it would be fine, but we both know what would happen if we went.
夢の話ね。
Sayo sighs. I've kept her talking a long time today. Even so, there's one thing I've avoided mentioning. Our mother. If I'm able to leave this place, then what I would really want to do is find her. That's always been my main motivation for wanting to leave. Sayo's made it clear she's done with our mother, but I still think it's sad that a part of our family is missing. Given the current situation, I just wish I could see her, even from afar. I can't touch Saya, so I wish our mother could comfort her for me. During this gaping conversation, while I'm thinking to myself, Saya groans. She's clutching at her chest, her forehead and neck sweaty. I shoot up from my chair. Saya?
はい。
She She tries to smile, but it ends up warped, her eyes clamped shut.
苦しい。痛い。
It must be awful if she's actually saying it out loud. I didn't realize it is because I'm touching her and quickly try and release her hand. But she just won't let go. I'm taken aback by the sudden mention of our mother. Saya's eyes have lost their focus. Her consciousness is drifting away. The devil said Sayo had until Christmas, but what if it made a mistake? I don't think it could have. There'd be nothing to gain from letting Sayo die. The devil knows things we humans don't. Things we don't know. My demonic miracles can't save Saya. That's all I've been thinking about. Nothing save for ways to save her. Nothing save for ways to save her. It's only now that I realize there are other things I can save. Things I can keep behind. From her heart. I place my hand on Saya's cheek, her mind still muddled. She gazes up at me absent-mindedly. We don't know our mother, but I'm sure we have memories of her. There was a time, a few months, when the three of us were all together. When we were in her womb. I start dragging the memories out of our minds. It was only when I ended up being sick in the filthy public restrooms of a park that I realized the reason I do been feeling unwell. I was pregnant. There's a little point in explaining who I am. I went to school, I had parents, siblings, and other relatives, but I was never one of them. Meow! 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 Sometimes I do have these visions, like memories but happening before my eyes. When I saw ghosts, spirits, monsters, it felt like I was closer to them than anything. I have special powers, you see? Though the word special would only apply if I were human. They're natural for what I am. Very human. To me, my existence feels as if I'm a bird at heart, who through some mishap was born in the body of a human. Not that any of that matters. What's important is that I am another Virgin Mary. My first thought was that I should get an abortion. Of course, if the child I'm bearing truly is akin to the child of a god, then by all rights I should reward them. Unfortunately, I'm not what you do call a good person. In all truth, I don't feel even a modicum of affection for the child inside me. It's no more than an annoying weight to bear. A parasite, if anything. I would hope people would sympathize. How can I feel affection for the parasite growing inside me when I have known no man and this was not my choice? Oh, alas, I had not the money to go to a hospital for the procedure, though I don't know what the cost would have been in the first place. What's more, I had no one to turn to for help. It was plain as day the trouble would do be in when my condition was discovered. Well, this is a good time as any. I made my decision, abandoning my home, my school, and even my name. I spent half a year since then, just wandering around. I managed to get jobs by lying about my age, and spent nights in 24 hours fast food restaurants, and enter at cafes when I could. When I couldn't, I slept in front of shrines and temples. Having never felt like I belonged at home, my newfound lifestyle didn't bother me. I could have sold my body to afford myself some more comfort, but I wasn't interested in that. Being a wanderer, a migratory bird, that suited me much better. The only real difference was that I picked up the habit of talking to my stomach. Hey, can you hear me? I was always wanting to talk to myself, but at least now I had someone to talk to. They were the ideal conversation partner in many aspects. Unable to reply, never getting angry nor laughing at what I said. Hey, can you hear me? Yes, Mama, I can hear you. Though I got no reply, sometimes it felt as if I could hear my child's voice in my ears. Maybe that's why I've started thinking that I should take better care of myself. I know of something called brood parasitism. That sounds good for me, and it gives me an excuse to keep my stomach warm. To be specific, brood parasitism is when a bird lays their eggs in an bird's nest to make that bird raise their young instead. What wings will my bird spread that bird, I wonder? Hey, can you hear me? Yes. That's the gist of it. Although I did meet one interesting person on my travels. Perhaps the first and only person I could consider a friend. We spoke for no more than 10 minutes, but I believe that she, at least, considered me to be one. It happened one night towards the end of summer. At the time I was in Kanto, worried about the effect of the summer heat on my body odor, and I decided to head for Hakone to potentially use one of their onsens. Sorry, I was checking if I'm still recording and stuff. On the way, however, I remembered my hatred of crowded places and decided to stop off in a remote, unheard of town in the mountains. It was late by the time I arrived, so instead of searching for lodgings, I headed the only sightseeing spot the town apparently had. Its lake. A single woman has trouble finding a place to stay, especially with how large my stomach has gotten. So this is the lake. It was no more than a giant puddle with nothing else of note. I was walking by the bank, thinking about how this wouldn't make for much sightseeing when I noticed a girl.
Oh, こんばんは
It is fucking you, of course! Harry? She had long, flowing silver hair, though nothing about her explained what she was doing here.
こんな時間にこんなところで何してるの
I responded that it was hardly a fair question, considering she was much the same.
そうだね。私はね、旅をしてるの。
What a coincidence, me too!
どこから来たの
The East?
そうなんだ。私は西から。山を越えてる最中で、このまま鎌倉あたりにでも行こうかなって。
The girl carried on having a normal conversation despite my vague, leave me alone responses. Second thought, there was nothing normal about this girl. She was strange.
ねえねえ、携帯の番号を交換しよう。
Oh, I don't have one.
ああ、そうなんだ。じゃあいいや。ところで、そのお腹触ってもいい
Go for it. Just know you'll be cursed if you do so. I'm not joking.
私、そういうの平気だから。
The girl touched my stomach without a hint of hesitation, though I really wish she'd do shown some restraint.
ああ、ぽっこりすごい
Like Maverick said. You want it?
いらない。
You want my whole stomach? Here, you can have it. The girl kept on smiling as she shook her head.
で、産むの
I don't have much choice now. It got this big without me realizing.
ふん、よかった。
It is?
いや、産むってことは生きるつもりだねって。もしかしたらこのまま湖に入って自殺とかしちゃう人かと思ったから。
I wouldn't do that. I'll live my life the way I want to.
そうだね。
After that exchange, we found ourselves just standing by the edge of the lake. For as sociable as the girl seemed to be, she also didn't seem bothered by the silence and remained with me. I didn't ask her name. She probably would have asked mine in return, so I decided not to.
そういえば名前は？
She asked us if she could read my mind.
あなたの名前じゃなくて、産むつもりなら子供の名前。
Oh, that. I haven't decided. I suppose I need to. It was only when she mentioned that I realized my child would need a name.
候補もないの？
No. I don't know. How about you get to choose? To commemorate tonight.
え？
I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, by the way.
そんな責任重大なの困るよ。頑張って自分で決めてよ。
Maybe Suarez then?
ダメだよ。日本人の女の子で本名ゴンザレスとか虐待だよ。
If you're going to be that annoying about it, think up a girl's name yourself. The girl cocked her head and groaned.
じゃあ、さよ。
Saya?
今は夜だし、可愛い名前だから。
Okay then, if it's a girl, she'll be Saya?
即決だね。
That was like just our conversation? Entirely meaningless, really. A little while later, the girl left.
私はずっと旅をしてるから、またどこかで会うかもね。
I do really rather we didn't. In fact, why don't you tell me someplace you'll never ever go?
私の行かない場所？
Yeah, that's where I'll go. I'm going to have to give birth soon, after all.
まあいいけどね。桐原町ってところかな。そこは行かない。特にその山の中には。
Is there anything in the mountains?
何もないんじゃないかな。
Then the two of us bid each other farewell. Hey, Sayo, can you hear me? This is how your name was decided? I found it grating, but it has at least a good name. I waited for a few more months heading to the town the girl had told me about. There was a boarding school in the mountains behind it. I couldn't afford a taxi fare, and walking with the weight in my stomach took ages. But I was interested enough to make my way there. It was night when I arrived, and the moment I did so, a sharp pain ran through my stomach. It shouldn't be the time yet. I didn't know if they were labor pains or what, but I knew I had to find someone, even if it meant dragging my body behind me. However, not long after, my abdomen was assailed by an intense discomfort. I crouched down, stripped off my underwear, and tried to endure the pain of something warming its way from my womb. And then I gave birth. The first sign that something was wrong was how fast it happened. The child was out of me in mere seconds. All the pain that I do have came with giving birth was condensed into a space of several minutes for me, and I was exhausted. All the same, I fumbled around in my skirt and produced a child, who as yet hasn't offered a single cry. This is brute parasitism at work. As I hold the child in my arms, my chest grows aflutter with thoughts of what color feathers they might one day sprout. And so, in fear, I dropped them to the ground. Feathers they might... That isn't my child! For the first time in my life, I found myself shouting. It took the form of a person, but it was anything but human. Nor was it a bird like me. No, it was something far more wicked entirely. It was only then, when I realized what I'd done, that I started to regret ever bringing this child into the world. For all the damage it would do. I was at the height of despair when I noticed something else. There was still one more life inside of me. It was Saya, my true child. And then I came to a conclusion, one based on not even a hunch. I knew that whatever it was that had just been born would, in the future, kill my darling girl. So I crawled away. I found a reasonably sized rock, picked it up, and returned to whatever I had just buried. But both hands raised a stone above my head and brought it straight down and did the thing. Afterwards, I fled to the city. I'd been unable to kill it. Not for the want of trying, though. I brought down the stone upon it again and again, but left nary a scratch upon it. Whatever it wasn't within my power to kill it. And so, I ran away. If anything else, I had protected Saya. So I slipped into the crowd, hoping that the demon child wouldn't be able to find me in the mass of people. But found I was. Wherever I walked, phones would ring. Cell phones, payphones, even despite having no connection, toy phones dumped in trash bins. I ended up giving up on my happiness, on my future with you. After giving birth to Saya, I found a decent orphanage, and abandoned her there with no more than a piece of paper with her name on it and all of the money I had at the time. Hey, can you hear me, Saya? I muttered while stroking my now slimmer stomach. Can you still hear me, Saya? I know that despite my reasons, you'll probably still hate me, and that's okay. I won't make excuses for how selfish I am acting. All I want is for you to be happy, even if that means hating me. I only have one wish: for you to live a normal life, far away from me, and whatever it is I gave birth to first. It was only when I saw your face for the first time that I finally knew what happiness felt like. Parting from you has led me to an hour first. The tears I'm crying now. Holy shit.
Ritsu!
Saya's cry snaps me back to reality. I look around, trying to stop the despair from bursting free. Saya's right there, looking up at me, her pale face twisted in concern. I'm back in Saya's room, and I remember what I did and what I saw. My mother never loved me. Then I started to groan. I coughed straight into Saya's wash basin. My hands raised to my throat, and disgorged stomach acid burning at it, as I collapsed backwards into my chair. I groaned again. So that was the truth. She did it all for Saya. Abdu brought up the past under the assumption both of us were loved. But that wasn't true.
Ritsu.
Saya calls my name. I'm fine. I'm finally able to look back at Saya and force a smile. But the truth is shocking, but I can come to terms with it. I've become well acquainted with how harsh life can be. Did you see all that, Saya?
Ritsu.
Her expression fills me with relief. I could tell she was able to see it too. Our mom loves you, Saya. To the point where she tried to kill me, even. Smile. What am I meant to see to her now? What right do I have to see anything? She's just an innocent girl caught up in the machinations between gods and monsters. And here I am, draining the life out of her. When our mother's only wish was for her to live a life of happiness.
Ritsu,
She takes my hand. I want to tell her not to touch me, but I have about as much energy as a tired rag right now.
大丈夫。私がいるから。
Saya's voice wavers. Not in an emotional sense. It's because she knows she was loved by our mom. At the end, she finds release from the chains that have bound her for as long as she can remember. She'll be alright now.
リツ、本当に大丈夫？
Yeah, I am. I probably don't look it, given how exhausted I am, but like, their stuff isn't, you know? Even I'm surprised at how quickly I've come to terms with everything.
そう。でも辛かったら言って。
Sarah says, still anxiously staring at me.
私には嘘をつかないで。全部言って。私はリツの妹なんだから。
Her hand feels so warm in mine. You're the patient here. How do we handle with this possession?
そうね。
Sarah giggles. I'm not lying to you. I lie? There's something I feel I should tell you though. I can save you? If I killed Mary? Sayo frowns as I convey what the devil told me. If I killed Mary, made Sayo drink her blood and turn her into a vampire, then she wouldn't die. Then she gives me her answer.
ナンセンスだわ。
Yeah, I know. I forced a smile. I knew Sayo would say that. I just thought I should tell you.
分かってる。一応でも言ってくれてありがとう。
Sayo nods. Then she breathes a sigh.
それよりまさか私の名付け親がメアリーだったなんて。
Oh yeah, that was a shock. I knew Mary had traveled Japan, so it was hardly impossible for her to have a connection to us from family down to family tree. Though I imagine even Mary doesn't remember it happening.
屈辱ね。
I quite like your name, Saya.
分かってる。自分でも好きだから屈辱なの。
I smile as Saya's face flushes slightly. Our mom was a lot like Saya, it turns out.
リツ、もういいから。ね。
She stares at me. A beautiful baby bird of the night locking eyes with me.
そんなにボロボロになって、きっとお兄ちゃん、私のために最後まで何かをする気なんだと思う。でも、やめてほしい。いなくならないで。どんな理由があっても、絶対に私から離れないで。そんなことじゃなくて、私の願いは私の最後まで一緒にいてほしいだけ。
Okay. Saya's wish comes from the heart. No reason I could have would possibly excuse me from staying by her side. It's a childlike cry, one exposing truth on the most fundamental of levels. An adult could dress up their reason in the prettiest of words, but none of that would matter. I should probably take a shower though. I notice that my sweat is making me chilly. I can come back here once I'm done. I offer to stay with her until she falls asleep.
今日はもうお兄ちゃんも寝て、ゆっくりと。
You're right. I nod and make to leave the room when Saya calls out to me again.
そういえば、明日ってクリスマス？
Christmas Eve, but yeah.
それじゃあ、学園も終業式ね。
Yeah, it will be. I hadn't even realized. This was when we do promise to do the play. That all feels so far away now.
それなら、明日は私も学園に行く。
Will you be okay?
もう大丈夫じゃないから行く。けじめね。
Sayo smiles weakly. She must be aware of how much time she has left. She's a tough girl, and she knows that if she doesn't do it now while she can, she might find herself unable to do it when the next opportunity presents itself.
学園が終わったら、あの駅に行くの。雪だるまが溶けてないかが、最後の最後に気になってることだから。
I could go check.
自分の足で歩いていって、自分の目で見たい。
Okay then. Night, Sayo.
おやすみ、リツ。私はあなたが誰でも愛しているから。
Thank you. This time, I leave her room for real. I breathe a deep sigh when I exit into the corridor. First, I head to the bathroom where I take a shower and get myself clean. As I change my clothes, I hide a knife from before inside them. Next, I head not to my own room, but to Mary's. I knock and receive no reply. She's either in the greenhouse or the chapel then. Now it points more towards it being the latter, but that's where I find myself heading. And that's where I find Mary, praying in front of the altar. Most likely for Sayo to get better, I imagine. Very straightforward like that. She immediately stands up as if she notices my presence.
こんばん。
Then she looks at me, she cocks her head. Is there something on my face?
なんかさっぱりしてるけど疲れてる感じがしたから。
Oh, I guess. Come to think of it, I've already completely come to terms with learning that my mother never loved me. It's actually shocking how little I care at all. I think, as strange as it is, that I inherited this self-centered part of my personality from her. You remember how you said that you were willing to sacrifice yourself for Sayo, Mary? She immediately nods. On that night when Sayo first collapsed, Mary was the one to bring up the notion that the devil was trying to play the two girls against each other. And there's one thing I know. That notion hasn't left her in the weeks since then. There's something I need you to do then.
いいよ。
She answers as if it's all no big deal.
リツくんがさよちゃんだけじゃなくて私のことも気にかけてくれてずっと悩んでいたのも分かってるし私は100年も生きたから。
Mary smiles as she continues. Not in an energetic way, more like a sweet flower in full bloom.
さよちゃんもう限界なんでしょ。
No.
むしろそんなにリツくんが悩まなくてもよかったんだよ。
But I feel awful. As much as I want to hang my head, I force myself to keep my neck straight and look at Mary. I still think I should put it into words. I want you to let me kill you? This to help Saya? Mary nods. It's like, Archibald. I'm so tired. I shake my head as if brushing off my own complaint. Saya says she wants to go to the end of term assembly. So we're going to school tomorrow. I promised Saya we could go to our secret place after that, so...
その場所のことが気になるけど、それで
I do like it to wait here in the chapel while that happens. I'll come here first before going with Saya, and...
わかった。
Even Mary can't help her face from clouding over as we start ironing out the details. I wonder if she has any regrets. She must have. She already stared death in the face once and decided to live, so there must be heaps of things she wants to do. I'm sorry, Mary.
謝ることなんて何もないよ。むしろありがとう、リツくん。
Mary smiles. It's strange if you think about it. The two of us are both apologizing to and thanking each other at the same time. Nobody's done anything wrong here. Everyone's just trying to be happy and working to make others happy along with them. But reality is cruel, and happiness for the masses come along all too rarely and come to a fork in the road. I have to make my choice, believe in it, and keep on walking, just like my mother did. Mary? Or Saya? For all my suffering and exhaustion, all I can do is keep on walking